delighted to be here today to talk with you a little bit about harnessing the power of project management. Obviously, if you're here, you're interested in project management. Project management may be your current career path, or you may be interested in getting involved in project management. And certainly the things that we're going to talk about today will all support all of those things. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get the ball rolling. So, harnessing the power of project management. Well, that happens to be the title of my latest book. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what's in the book today, so that we have a formulation of the discussion about project management. But when I wrote this particular book, as mentioned earlier, this was my 5th book, and my 6th is about to come out. I've certainly written enough books on the mechanics of project management. I wanted to write something that was just a little bit different, that was not simply about writing a schedule or developing, a risk management plan, etc., earned value or whatever. We've written enough books about that. There certainly are quite a few books on the market today on the mechanics of project management. What I really wanted to do was really emphasize for project managers, for executives, for those people in this business, the value of project management and what it means to organizations. And that's what the book really talks about. So I took a little bit, or one section of the book, and I went ahead and highlighted a specific area that we're going to use today in the presentation. And we're also going to talk about some things that are, relevant, even things that are just even happening almost as we speak. So I wanted to, bring in a little bit of the experience and the knowledge and all the effort that went into the book to demonstrate the value of project management. But I also want to bring some relevant things that you're probably not going to learn in any books and talk about some of those things. So I'll do that in the presentation today. So the 3 things that we're going to focus on in the webinar are: we work in a world of change. That's obvious. I don't want to restate the obvious, but sometimes it's worth looking at that in detail and what that means to us and how it affects us. We're going to talk a little bit about harnessing the power of project management. Many of us, as I mentioned, go through the mechanics of project management, deliver projects. We all work very hard every day in delivering projects, and we all have our own techniques and processes that we use in project management. But what is the real power of project management, and how can you leverage that not only for your own personal growth, but for your professional growth and growth outside of work as well? And the one topic that I picked out of the book that I thought would be a good one to talk about since we're doing a webinar is communications. And we're gonna finish it up at the end here with what we call the certified art of communications. So we work in a world of change, and that's something that we all have to deal with. So when I talk about global or corporate globalization, I use the term to define how even companies whose services and products serve a local clientele are affected by cultural differences and needs. I mean, let's face it, we are a global society. That means that businesses interact with a broad range of people from different countries, backgrounds, religions, and cultures every single day. I bring that up, and we may take that for granted, but on the 3rd bullet there, when I talk about the maturing of project management as a function and a profession, this is an important fact. And I want to make sure that we keep this in mind as we go through the webinar today. So in addition to that, at the same time, the economic climate has changed over the last couple of years. I'm not an economist, so I don't want to predict whether we're in a soft economy, a difficult economy, a recovering economy, a rebounding economy. I like to keep it positive and to think that the economy is moving in a positive direction, which just is something that we all want, but let's face it, depending on where you are and which part of the world and what industry you're in, so on and so forth, the last couple of years have been a little challenging. So the economy itself has changed, and that changes a lot of things. It increases our demand on efficiencies. We have to do more with less. There's been a lot more mergers and acquisitions. Many of us have the same parking space that we've had for 5 or 6 or 10 years. However, the name on our paycheck has changed 4 different times because of mergers and acquisitions. We've all been through it. If you haven't, you probably will at some point in your career. And those present some interesting challenges that we need to be aware of. Additionally, you have a different team environment. And I want to just talk about that just for a second. And the thing about team environments, this is very fascinating as a instructor. I always ask, or many times I ask, whether I'm giving a keynote address or addressing a large forum, and it doesn't matter if you're project managers or if you're executives, if you're leaders, if you're business analysts, it doesn't matter. The question's the same. How many of you are working on a virtual team? And I usually get hands come up in the room. I don't know, probably 70, 80% of the people in the room raise their hand and say, I'm working on a virtual team, which can be expected. There's nothing spectacular about that. But my follow-up question is, how many of you have been trained in virtual communications and virtual teaming and things that are important to understand how to interact in a virtual team? And this is where I get that disparity. I ask the people to drop their hands. I ask them to keep it up if they're working on a virtual team, and then drop their hands so people can see around the room. How many people have not been trained in virtual teaming and virtual communications and the value of that in today's business environment? For some reason, organizations today believe that it's that if you're in the work environment today, you understand inherently how to interact with people in a virtual team. And unfortunately, that's simply not the case without a little bit of training. I don't want to advocate that you need to spend 12 days in a class on virtual teaming, but there certainly are some things that you can do to improve your virtual teaming and improve productivity in a virtual team just by understanding some of the basic things that it takes to operate in that environment. So for today, we're going to look at 3 things. Part 1, getting the most from project management. Part 2, getting the most from your people. And Part 3, giving the most to your customers. I'm going to give you an overview of each primary section of the book. The book's really broken down into 3 areas. Those are it. We'll dig into the one and the specific topic about communications a little bit later in the presentation. But the book addresses in Part 1 how project managers and project management is the key to unlocking surprising levels of profitability in your organization or your company. Many people, for whatever reason, have been dragging the past couple of years the stigma of project management being a cost as opposed to something that can produce profit and revenue for organizations. We've felt that way for many years, and that's the way we deliver project management to our clients. We tell them and share with them the value of project management, not the cost of project management. And I really would like to believe that everyone, all the project managers that work in business today are thinking along those same lines, because let's face it, project management is the way business gets delivered. I mean, it does deliver business results. And business results is what managers are looking for and executives are looking for.